Um, I would say I didn't know what the word shade meant until I started hanging out with um, gay people from back home in Maryland, and they started using the word shade and stuff like that. And I was just like, what is that? Or like, what is throwing shade? And they kind of taught me because they do that a lot. They throw shade and things like that. So that's how I basically learned about it, by being shaded.
I learned about it from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay.
Because there's an actual like mini challenge where it's like about throwing shade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and then it kind of like, because I didn't really know, I knew what reading was like.
What's reading?
Reading is
You
like,
want to talk about reading?
Talk about reading.
Well, it's from Paris is Burning. But what do you have to say?
no, talk about Paris is Burning.
Like, what is a read? What is Paris is Burning?
I saw Paris is Burning after
I
found
saw
out.
a read is just like, that's just like intentionally. I don't like using the word being rude. I feel like I feel like all this stuff is just making fun of someone, but making fun of someone isn't always rude. At least I don't think so. So I would just say it's like intentionally making fun of someone and making it known that you're making fun of someone. I think that's the difference between a read and shade. Shade is you can make fun of someone or do something and you don't have to like make it known to be shade. But I feel like a read is something that it gets known and it gets attention that, oh, you just said that.
So
That's
like a read is obvious and straightforward.
Yes, and shade is kind of, it's not as obvious. It can be, the real shady stuff is stuff that you will never even catch. That's what the real shade is.
That's what the real shit is.
That's the real
Okay,
shade.
so they're
No, I don't know. I feel like I'm not very educated on what shade means, or even the lingo. I mean, you say that it's like gay lingo. Or
Didn't you
gay.
guys have a conversation about shade? Didn't he have to explain it to you? Or?
No,
I
I
don't
knew
think
what,
I
it was
don't think I
another
ever
word.
did.
It was another word that I didn't know. And well, he just did it again with whatever you just said.
What?
Work it, or what no.
Work it.
Oh, buy it. Or what did he say?
I said, oh, pay it?
Pay it.
Yeah.
Sorry, see? Pay it, buy it, work it.
So then how do you spot, like how do you know if someone is throwing shade?
I feel like how I know someone is throwing shade is, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's hard to find out when someone's throwing shade. I just feel like if someone says something and it makes you feel like, oh shit, they just said that, or like something, it just makes you express or gives you a certain type of feeling like, whoa, like, I don't know.
So
I think what we're missing, though, is the element of humor in which shade brings. Because
Shade does not always bring humor.
But it does, though.
No, I'm saying it always does not.
So what's the difference then between just throwing shade and just outright insulting somebody?
There might not be much of a difference. It might just be the different use of term. And it might, one person might, an insult to someone else might call it shade. You know, it just might depend on who's defining it, I would say.
well, insult to me is equivalent to a read. An insult is a straightforward, like I'm coming for you, your shirt's ugly. Not you, but your shirt's ugly. But I think a shade is more like, ooh, you have a nice shirt on today. I'm shading him because he doesn't have it. Like I think
Like,
that's
So it's the
simplest-
subtle. It's the subtle insult.
It can
It's
be
the-
that, or it can be, you have a nice shirt on today.
today.
And it can be, that's not subtle at all, but it's still shade. I feel like I can shade you in so many ways. It just depends on how you say it. Like, you have a nice shirt today. That's shade. And just for the fact that I'm telling you have a nice shirt today, and you've never heard me say that before in my life to you, that could be shade right there. So it's just like there's so many different elements.
Wow, I'm out of my league.
And there's just so many different ways of throwing shade that it's just like, I feel like by experiencing it and noticing it more, that's how you're able to just like catch it easier or even throw shade in a sense.